So, if you hate wearing classic shin pads or are simply just looking to buy new shin pads, stay with me. Because last year I reviewed the G-Form Pro S Vento and called it one of the best shin pads on the market. But now it's actually received a bit of an upgrade in the Elite X. And it's also gotten a bit more expensive. It's hard to believe. But actually it makes sense when you hear what the foam does. Because SmartFlex here isn't just your ordinary foam. No, actually it's got outstanding shock absorption, which means that when you get hit by a crunching tackle, the foam goes in and kind of absorbs a lot of the impact force, meaning that it transfers around 50% less of the impact force from the tackle and onto your leg compared to a regular hard shell shin pad. The secret is that when SmartFlex is in a rest state, basically just chilling there, it's not being hit or anything, the molecules inside the foam repel each other. And that allows the foam to stay soft and mushy and a little bit squishy. But when you then take a hard hit, there is an impact. The molecules immediately bind, which means that the foam hardens up a bit, but also it allows the foam to have that brilliant shock absorption. And you can basically tell when you have the shin pads in hand. When you just squeeze it here, it does have that soft, squishy, foamy feel, and as you can see, it is super flexible. But when you start punching it, like, you can tell that it immediately hardens up to the point where it actually, hurts my knuckles a little bit if I do it too much. Or even better, G-Form illustrated by dropping a bowling ball on 2 wine bottles, one covered by a regular shin pad and one covered by a G-Form shin pad. And I know that in this day and age, you can make everything seem the way you want it to on video. But still, I think the result paints a pretty clear picture. But I think you get it by now. SmartFlex works. The foam works. Cool. But what is actually the deal with the Elite X, and why is it so much more expensive than the admittedly already pretty brilliant Vento? Well, of course, it all matters, it's a matter of perspective, but to me, the Elite X is more the luxury edition. It has a slightly different focus, or as the name suggests, it's the elite. It's the very best, right? So you can definitely feel it on the sleeve here, where the base material is a little bit thicker, and it has this really nice compressed sensation. The elastic band on top is also a little bit higher, a little bit wider, which means that it spreads out that pressure that you feel on the calves just a little bit more. And finally, you have this ventilated mesh on the back for a bit better breathability, if for some reason your calves sweat a lot, I guess. And one thing I also found was that the Elite X is simply easier to take on and also take off compared to the Vento. And I don't know if it matters to anyone but me, but if you do that 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week, it all counts. So yes, they're expensive, but they're also just nicer. But while the sleeve is nicer on the Elite X, the centerpiece is of course the SmartFlex foam. And here it seems to me that G-Form has used a slightly thinner amount of foam, but also it covers a slightly smaller area because there's not as much thick foam on the side compared to the Vento. With that said though, the foam has been stitched on the inside of the sleeve compared to the outside of the sleeve on the Vento. And also, it does feel a lot more flexible and bendable because of the X cutouts compared to on the Vento. It's just a little bit more structured and rigid. And that also means that the Elite X here just feels even more as if it's just gonna disappear on the leg, to the point where you won't even feel a thing. And that makes me feel that it's probably slightly more geared towards people who want that completely distractionless feel of just not wearing shin pads at all, but who are also okay with the trade-off of not having as big areas and as thick foam for protection as on the Vento. So, is it worth the money, the Elite X then? Well, it's a bit of a tough question to answer really, because yes, I do feel that it is a nicer shin pad than the Vento, but also I will say that I think for most players out there to whom a shin pad is just a shin pad, the Vento is enough. It'll be sufficient because it is very nice. Whereas the Elite X just feels, well, aimed at the elite. People who want that premium experience, or people who just really hate wearing shin pads and just want to feel basically nothing on their legs. If that's the case, you gotta know what you want. So, you know, it's definitely nice that given the choice, I would take the Elite X. But it's not as big of a no-brainer as you'd think, given the price.
So you see, the beauty of these shin pads is that it's just like they're nice and what? What? You go behind the camera. Yeah, these. Yeah, these. What's up? Wait.
And the reason it's not a no-brainer is that both of the G-Foam shin pads are just really, really good. They are, I would say, super comfortable. They both have that really free sensation and are thus perfect for players who just hate wearing regular shin pads or who are just sick to death of them sliding around all over the place when you play. These don't. They can go in the washing machine, which is nice. And they also do protect really well, to the point where, you know, wearing them in a match, I'm not worried. And I'm typically the kind of guy who worries. And also, I think out of all the teammates that I've recommended these to over the years who have tried them, I can't even think of one, I think, who have tried them and gone back to their old regular shin pads. So, yeah. I will say that, yes, G-Foam shin pads are a bit more expensive than normal shin pads, but they are worth it. And then I would say it's up to you to decide if you go Vento or upgrade to the Elite X. But guys, what do you think? Shin pads made with foam, huh? Let me know in the comment section right down below. Remember that if you want to buy either of these in different colors even, go to the link to Unisport right over there and find all of it. Of course, remember to subscribe to the channel with the notifications on. And with those words, I'll be signing off. Cheerio.